I have a feeling that it'll even out, that if you stick to your guns, and stay in there, if you're interested in music, there'll be a place for you.
Kris Kristofferson's personal path was characterized by struggles, emotional conflicts, heartaches, and the heavy burden of his decisions, despite the glitter of his remarkable on-screen achievements and the praise for his songs. Me and Bobby McGee, Help Me Make It Through the Night, Sunday Morning Comin' Down, and For the Good Times are among his most famous songs, and you might recognize him from them. But today, Kris Kristofferson is over 90 years old, and his life is tragic. Hold on as we delve more into his misery. Shall we begin? On the 22nd of June 1936 in Brownsville, Texas, Kris Kristofferson opened his eyes. American Lars Henry Kristofferson was one of his parents, Colonel in the United States Army Air Corps, and Marianne Ashbrook. Kris's formative years were marked by the horrific Great Depression. From 1929 to the late 1930s, people all around the globe were hit severely by the global economic slump, which caused widespread poverty, high unemployment, and a severe economic depression. Lars Henry did all in his power to keep his home afloat, even when the Kristofferson family struck rock bottom. He worked his way up from a lowly janitor position and eventually became a government employee, all in an effort to support his family during a period when many others were struggling to make ends meet. Much of Kris's subsequent work explored themes of adversity, love, and endurance, and his worldview was shaped by his early hardships. Additionally, the rough beauty of the Texas countryside helped shape his character, which would later show out excessively in his performances. Kris and his father had a strained connection because his father was abroad for military duty. Kris was just 5 years old when the United States entered World War II in December 1941, further complicating matters. But his bond with his mother, Marianne, was strong and affectionate. By exposing him to gospel music and later supporting his musical endeavors, she greatly contributed to his love of music. The decision to join the United States military caused Kristofferson's life to take a surprising twist. After finishing his Rhodes Scholarship studies at Oxford University in 1960, he joined the Army. While there, he had also failed to pursue his musical interest. He had great success in his military career, becoming a helicopter pilot and the rank of Army captain, while serving mostly in West Germany. Nonetheless, he refrained from taking part in any significant battles while there, cast out by his own family. In addition to earning him the 2003 Veteran of the Year award, Kris's time in the military shaped his character by inculcating the discipline and resilience that would come to characterize his attitude to life's obstacles. His desire to be a musician and entertainer led him to leave the military in 1965. His first big personal sorrow occurred there. His family rejected him because he chose to follow his dream of being a musician rather than carry on the family history of military duty. In addition to struggling with emotions of shame and disillusionment caused by his loved one's rejection, his foray into Nashville's music industry fell short of his wildest expectations. He was met with closed doors and insensitive ears by the intimidating music industry world. While coping with constant rejection during the day, Kris had to perform odd jobs just to make ends meet. Much like his family, he was met with little encouragement in the realm of songwriting. Opportunities were few, but skill was plenty here. Setting the tone for the tenacity that would become his trademark, his early journey was marked by the effort to get attention and establish a footing in the business, and he accomplished all that with almost no help. Getting a job as a janitor at the Nashville studios of Columbia Records in 1965 was Kris Kristofferson's big break. Being an ex-Army helicopter pilot with a teaching post at West Point, this employment may not have been perfect, but it placed him at the right place at the right time. He met famous musicians here and pitched them his tunes, and his songs touched people deeply because of their frankness and emotional depth. In a manner that was both approachable and authentic, he sang about love, heartbreak, and the human condition. For example, his career as a musician and songwriter was significantly advanced by the enormous success of his song Me and Bobby McGee, which thrust him into the spotlight. His groundbreaking events were captured in the heartfelt lyrics of songs like "Help Me Make It Through the Night." It was only natural for these songs to become popular favorites. His heartfelt, vulnerable stories resonated with listeners and solidified his status as one of the most revered musicians of his day. Kris Kristofferson's solo career took off in the early 1970s, when he released a series of highly regarded albums. Kristofferson was his 1971 album, which produced singles like Sunday Morning Comin' Down and Me and Bobby McGee. His subsequent albums, The Silver-Tongued Devil and I, 1971, and Border Lord, 1972, further cemented his reputation as an introspective composer. Released in 1972, Jesus Was a Capricorn was notable for its title tune and Why Me? It further cemented his status in the business. Kristofferson's music, which included elements of country, folk, and rock, was highly acclaimed and strongly felt by his listeners. Kris Kristofferson began his acting career in an unusual way after finding success as a musician and entertainer. An unexpected audition for a film role presented itself to him in 1971 when he was in Louisiana, on the big screen for the first time in 1972's The Last Movie. But reviewers crushed him and he lacked experience. Thus, his acting career was rocky. In addition, he faced several obstacles on his path to stardom in Hollywood. Kristofferson persevered and refined his skill in spite of these challenges. He gained prominence as he carved out a niche for himself in the industry with each job he played. He eventually got major parts in films including Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, A Star is Born, and Heaven's Gate. His performances as complex characters such as a tormented singer in A Star is Born and the legendary Billy the Kid in Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid demonstrated his acting chops. Acting out these multi-layered personalities wasn't the only thing he did. It was all about giving them a new lease on life. He brought a new level of realism to every part by drawing on his own experiences, which struck a chord with viewers. Along with his musical legacy, his foray into filmmaking was complementary. The power of his visual expression was magnified by the fact that his depictions of individuals battling against hardship echoed the core themes of his music. Like a mirror reflecting his musical depth, the intricacies he brought to his characters matched the complexity of his own life. Kristofferson's lasting impact on filmmaking is a testament to his acting chops and the breadth and depth of his narrative abilities. His contributions to the creative world will be felt for years to come. However, a life filled with sorrows lay behind the scenes of the silver screen. Behind closed doors, Kris Kristofferson's private battles. The pressures of becoming a movie star probably weren't as bad as the problems in his personal life. In 1960, he wed Fran Bear, his first wife and high school sweetheart. Their romance started when they were both students at Pomona College and everything was going swimmingly until they tied the knot. Kris's choice to enlist in the military and the difficulties of coming of age both put a strain on their relationship at that time. Their marriage came to an end in 1969 when they filed for a divorce. Janis Joplin became Kris Kristofferson's girlfriend after this setback. Janis became a household name in the 60s because to her innovative blend of blues, soul, and rock music as well as her unfiltered, highly emotional live performances. Cheap Thrills and Pearl, two of her critically acclaimed albums, featured legendary songs like Piece of My Heart, Ball and Chain, and Me and Bobby McGee. She met Kris in the late 60s and early 70s when the music scene was alive and thriving, and the two became friends as musicians. Their powerful bond was abruptly severed in 1970 when Janis died of a drug overdose. That was when she was just 27 years old. His life was changed by Rita Coolidge, a fellow musician, when his relationship with Janis Joplin ended very suddenly. In the 1970s, Rita first gained attention as a musician. She was a leading figure in the industry thanks to her mesmerizing voice and ability to switch between folk, rock, and pop. Kris Kristofferson got romantically involved with her in the early 1970s, and she swiftly acquired global notoriety with records like Anytime, Anywhere, and Love Me Again. After forming a bond beyond friendship, they began performing duets together, including on Lover Please and A Song I'd Like to Sing. They tied the knot in 1973, but their marriage was troubled by the demands of their careers and their differences, and they eventually divorced in 1980. He wed Lisa Myers 3 years down the road. After meeting at Pepperdine University, Lisa went on to become an attorney and makeup artist. She joined the production teams of films such as Star Trek Nemesis, Star Trek Insurrection, and Indecent Proposal. On February 19, 1983, 3 years after Kris Kristofferson's divorce from Rita Coolidge, they were married at Pepperdine University where they had met. Lisa is 20 years Kris's junior and his third wife. Yet they have weathered every storm together, even the difficult times following Kris's divorce from Rita Coolidge. After becoming a mother, she gave up her job and devoted herself fully to becoming a housewife. The couple has 5 children together. Lisa Myers has been a rock for country music artist Chris Allen during their decades-long marriage, and she is well known for her devotion as a wife and mother. They overcame insurmountable obstacles and created an unshakable relationship. He put a lot of pressure on his love relationships as a result of his rigorous work, constant touring, and stardom. The fact that he battled drunkenness and inner issues didn't help matters. Kris Kristofferson's perseverance in the face of several tragic obstacles is inspiring. Conflicts with substance abuse. I don't know how much I was drinking, but it was a lot. I had to quit it soon after. The doctor said my liver was the size of a football and that if I didn't quit, I was going to kill myself, Kris Kristofferson recalls, reflecting on his struggles with alcohol and intoxicants in the past. His struggles with substance abuse were very visible in the 1970s and 1980s, and they had a profound effect on his personal life and relationships, including his marriages to Rita Coolidge and Lisa Myers. The demons of addiction that Kristofferson battled were frequently concealed by the glamour of fame, which stood in stark contrast to the inner turmoil he endured. Despite the terrible depths of addiction, Kristofferson's resiliency and creative zeal were a source of inspiration, and he gave credit to his wife and daughter for helping him overcome these personal demons. His singing and acting took on a reality that was formed out of his own struggles with alcoholism, and his art became a mirror of both his genius and the victory of the human spirit over hardship. Throughout this time, Kristofferson's musical journey transformed, moving from honest expressions of emotion to profound narratives. His artistry was deeply inspired by his personal experiences, weaving together his triumphs, tragedies, revelations, and struggles. Each chord progression and lyrical verse reflected his journey with all its highs and lows. Kris Kristofferson's legacy lives on in film and music, touching hearts and minds for years to come. His powerful lyrics and melodies conveyed universal human emotions, and his storytelling skills, honesty, and ability to capture the complexities of life in his songs have influenced musicians of all stripes. Kristofferson also established a new standard for introspective, narrative-driven songwriting, which is still used today. Cinematic storytelling was redefined by Kristofferson's nuanced performances and authentic portrayals of diverse characters. Kristofferson broke conventional molds by adding depth and authenticity to his roles, going beyond acting to embody the essence of the human experience. His presence was transformative in the film industry. Music and films by Kristofferson became anthems for generations seeking comfort, inspiration, and a voice that echoed their own hardships and victories. His impact went well beyond his creative accomplishments. He became a cultural icon, a symbol of perseverance, originality, and unfaltering honesty. His life's journey, marked by struggles, victories, and unwavering honesty, is a testimony to the resilience of the human spirit and its capacity to overcome obstacles and leave a lasting cultural impression. Kristofferson's influence on popular culture is palpable, and he has inspired many aspiring actors, singers, and storytellers. Kris Kristofferson, who is on the cusp of entering his 90s, looks back on a full life filled with remarkable highs and terrifying lows. but all of it has shaped him into the person he is today. His artistic endeavors have shone a light on his personal struggles, and his legacy is as complex and multifaceted as the melodies of his most popular songs. While Kristofferson's touring schedule has slowed, his live performances are still highly treasured by devoted fans all over the world. His soul-stirring performances and husky Texan voice continue to mesmerize audiences as he enjoys the latter years of his life. His influence as an actor is still felt today. Kristofferson's performances, which sometimes feature his weathered presence, never fail to mesmerize viewers and serve as a constant reminder of his extraordinary skill to those working in the film business. Similarly, Kristofferson's private life has settled into a more subdued rhythm. After squandering decades on addiction and broken relationships, he now spends precious time with loved ones, appreciating the little pleasures that slipped his mind during his meteoric rise to fame. His legacy will encourage artists of all stripes to face the challenges of their own lives and careers head-on, but with honesty and strength. The Grammy Awards are among Kris Kristofferson's numerous honors. For example, he won Best Country Song multiple times for Help Me Make It Through the Night, and the esteemed Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award for the lasting influence he had on the music industry, despite the many tragedies and personal issues that plagued his life. Kristofferson's contributions to film, music, and the arts were immense. Although critics at first panned his acting career, he eventually won plaudits for his work in critically acclaimed films like Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore and Heaven's Gate, and received accolades like the Golden Globe for Best Actor for his performance in A Star Is Born. The accolades validated his multifaceted talent, which allowed him to explore different roles and musical styles while staying true to his artistry. They also served as motivation, as they solidified his legacy and ensured that his contributions would be felt for generations to come. Kris Kristofferson has been heavily involved in philanthropy outside of his artistic pursuits as well. He has been a strong supporter of veterans' rights and has made significant contributions to organizations that help veterans who have served their country. Kris's own military experience has shaped his dedication to this cause, and he has worked closely with programs that offer health care, assistance, and advocacy for veterans. In addition to his vocal advocacy for veterans' rights, which has helped bring attention to and funding for programs that assist veterans in their transition back into civilian life, Kristofferson has also been actively involved in causes related to human rights, environmental conservation, and music education. His support for organizations fighting for these causes has been substantial, with both monetary contributions and personal involvement, such as benefit concerts and fundraising events. Kristofferson has made a real difference in the causes and organizations he backs. Also, via his music education programs, he has inspired and developed young musicians, and his contributions to environmental conservation efforts have raised people's consciousness about the need to protect our planet's natural environments. Ultimately, Kristofferson has not only made an indelible mark on the worlds of music and film, but he has also utilized his celebrity and clout to champion issues that are close to his heart. His dedication has motivated many to become involved, thereby enhancing the effect of his charitable giving. Inspiring modern musicians across genres, Kristofferson's raw, introspective songwriting style delves into the human experience, portraying raw emotions and universal themes. His ability to craft narratives sets a benchmark for songwriters and reverberates through contemporary music and cinema. His early breakthrough in films like A Star Is Born showcased his innate talent. Kristofferson's willingness to tackle diverse characters and genres, from dramatic roles to action-packed features, widened the spectrum of possibilities for actors and directors, leaving an imprint on the cinematic landscape. His impactful performances and versatile roles ensure that his legacy will live on in cinema. In his musical compositions, he heightened the narrative aspect of music by blending country, rock, and folk styles. This set a standard for other songwriters who wanted to incorporate personal narratives into their work. In cinema, he played complicated characters with vulnerability and depth. His openness to unconventional roles and his talent for fully inhabiting diverse characters paved the way for other actors who wanted to escape typecasting and try their hand at a variety of roles. In addition to his own achievements, Kristofferson is remembered for the opportunities he gave to other artists and actors. His lasting impact on the art world motivates creators to be themselves, to test limits, and to delve into the profound depths of human expression through cinema and music. Despite his outward success, he endured untold hardships and tragedies throughout his life. Kristofferson's life is an inspiration because he never gave up on his dreams, no matter how difficult they became. He had a tough upbringing and overcame adversity by following his passions, even when times were tough. After leaving the military, he decided to follow a different path in music, which was fraught with difficulties and rejection. Kristofferson often talks about how he was disowned by his family and faced severe financial hardships, but he kept going and put everything he had into his music until he finally broke through and showed the world what he could do. Jumping from the music industry to the film industry was another challenge for Kristofferson. He was also dealing with the after effects of 2 divorces, the loss of a girlfriend, and his personal demon, rum. Critics were not kind at first, but he overcame all of these obstacles by carving out a niche for himself through hard work and talent, establishing himself as a multi-talented artist who could excel on screen and stage. Each setback strengthened his determination to overcome obstacles, and despite personal trials, his multifaceted career in music and film thrived, leaving an indelible mark on entertainment history. Kristofferson's story is a powerful reminder of the importance of staying true to ourselves and pursuing our passions, even when faced with challenges and personal tragedies. While he did make some bad choices in life and had to pay the price for them, he never wavered in his dedication to his dreams and never stopped following them no matter what. His ability to overcome personal struggles shows how powerful self-belief is. Kristofferson's journey encourages us to see setbacks as opportunities for growth, to persevere, evolve, and triumph despite life's adversities. His resilience reminds us that with determination, we can overcome anything. As he nears the end of his 90s, Kris Kristofferson's impact goes far beyond his famed performances and #1 singles. His message to aspiring artists and actors is to be true to oneself, use one's own experiences as inspiration, and challenge the status quo. Kristofferson's lasting impact on culture is a result of the enduring quality of his work. Kristofferson is grateful to have conquered most of his problems, found peace with his own tragedies, and left a lasting legacy that goes beyond entertainment. Finally, that concludes our look at the incredible tragedies that have befallen Kris Kristofferson up to this point. If you like this video, you absolutely must see the one that's currently playing on your screen. It will astound you.